Hi and welcome to my yoga for sore and achy muscles. It's a problem that we all have to deal with at some point, and I'm hoping this will give you a little bit of a release. So let's get started. So we're going to start in extended child's pose. So extended is your big toes joining behind you, widening the knees as far as comfortable, and then lowering down, arms out in front, forehead to mat. So just enjoy that lovely stretch here, and just calm the thoughts, regulate the breath. And if this is uncomfortable, you can do the normal child's pose with your knees together, like this. But to move on to our next pose, you will have to part your knees just briefly, okay? So after this, I'm going to just ask you to just fold your arms, elbows poking out either side of the mat, hands on top of each other, and just rest your forehead on your hands. Try not to hold any tension in the neck or shoulders, just relax everything as much as you can. Then we're just going to raise up from the mat and then lower. We're going to do that 3 times. You're just going to push away from the mat with your hands on top of each other and then lower back down. And just do this nice and slow, there's no rush. Up again and then lower. And then one more time and then lower. And then just take a couple of breaths down on the mat, forehead on your hands. And then we're just going to do another set of 3 before we move on. Nice and slowly, nice controlled movements. Then after this, just extend the hands, arms back out and relax. Now our next move is we're going to thread our arm under the opposite arm. So we start with our right, and this underneath the left arm, underneath the armpit, and if you can, just rest in the cheek of your face to the mat. Just enjoying that lovely stretch in the shoulder there. And then returning, and then to the other side. Now for some of you, your face may be resting on the top of your arm, that's fine. If you can get your cheek to the mat, then great. But trying is as good as doing. And then one more on each side. You may find you can do it on one side and not the other so much, but that's absolutely normal. And then back to the middle, and the other side. And then coming back into your extended child's pose. And now for this next move, we're going to ask you to just come up, keeping those toes pointing at the back, so you've got a bit of a diamond shape going on. Coming up, opening those shoulders, opening the heart, and then coming back down into child's pose. Now don't rush this. Okay, and we're going to do 4 more of those. So gently coming up, keeping those toes pointing together, and then coming down. And 3 more. Up. Nice and slow. You should really feel the heat burning in those thighs. And then last one. And then just lower back into child's pose. And rest there for 2 good breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we're going to meet in tabletop, and we're going to do some of our famous cats and cows. It's a really good move, just to wake up that lower spine, and nice and gently. So we're going to fan out our hands on our mats, knees hip width apart, tops of the feet on the mat. And then we're just going to drop the belly, lift the gaze, Inhale on this move, and then exhale as you go into cat. Rounding those shoulders and spine, navel to spine, and then drop the belly, push the mat away, inhale. And exhale, nice long exhale as you push away. Belly comes up. There you go. And then back into child's pose just for a quick rest. And then when you're ready, just walk your hands up so that you're either sitting on your feet, or you can just feet either side, and then your bum can just come on to the mat, whatever is comfortable for you. So making sure I'm going to go on my feet, or you can even use a block. So if you do have a block and you do want to be slightly raised, you can put that under also. If you do have like a tender lower back, or you're struggling a little bit today, that's absolutely fine. So just listen to your body and find a variation that works for you. Just explore, okay, and listen to your body. Okay, so we're just going to sit however you've decided to sit. Just make sure that spine is nice and straight, okay? And then I'm going to ask you just clasp your hands behind your back, okay? Or reach, if you can't actually clasp your hands, you're just not feeling as flexible today, you can reach behind you or clasp if you can. Nice straight spine, open heart and shoulders, and then I'm going to ask you to just bend forward. So you can go as far as you want. Just listen to your body. Now for some of you, your head will touch the mat. For some of you, it might just be halfway, but using those thighs to support you as you're coming down. But wherever you are, just go as low as you can, listen to your body. And then as you're coming back up, lifting that gaze, opening that heart. And we're going to do 4 more of those. So lowering down, lifting those hands, and then nice and slowly coming back up. And remember, in your own time, don't rush. Just listen to your body. I'm just going to do 1 more. Okay, so last one, we're just going to come down. And then coming back up. Just opening up the heart and shoulders. Lift that gaze a little bit higher than last time. And then just releasing the fingertips behind you on the mat. And I'm just going to ask you to just do a little hip wiggle from side to side. Go as little or as far as you want. It's just a nice little playful move just to loosen up the hip flexors, maybe relieve some pain in the lower back. Just enjoy that a few times. If your neck starts to ache, then please do bring your gaze down. So just listen to your body wherever you want. Your body will tell you what you need. Okay, and then just gently coming up. And then sitting straight. Okay, so now what I'm going to ask you to do is to sit crossed leg on the mat. Okay, I'm going to stay sitting this way to you. Right, so I'm going to ask you to do Kel Facing Arms. We're going to start with our right arm. So we're going to bring that up and back behind you so that your hand is just between your shoulder blades. And your opposite hand is going to either clasp, reach for, you might not touch, you might not quite get there, so just reaching for, just doing that shape is as good as actually fully clasping, but whatever position you find yourself at, just enjoy that lovely stretch in the shoulders. So we have our right hand, our right arm high, so we're going to bring our left ear to our left shoulder, and just feel that nice pull on the right side of the neck. Just bring your head back up, and 2 more. So left ear to left shoulder, and then coming back up to the middle, left ear to left shoulder, and then gently coming back up. And you're just going to release, give that a shake out, and then we're going to do the other side. So left arm comes up, hand between the shoulder blades, right hand reaches for, clasps, wherever you are today. Just enjoy that stretch there. And then we're going to do our right ear to right shoulder, and we are going to do 3 of those. So in your own time, just enjoying that stretch. It may feel different on each side. In fact, it probably will feel different on each side. And just enjoying that. And then just giving yourself a little shake out. Wiggle those fingers. Don't hit the wall like that. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to extend your right leg in front of you and your left foot just pushing into your thigh. For some of you it may look differently again. If you want to raise yourself up and sit on a block, if your left foot can't reach the thigh, that's fine, just put it to your shin. But don't put it on your actual knee joint itself, so just be above or below the knee. So wherever you find yourself, to get yourself into the position. Okay, I'm just going to ask you to bring your hands above your head, and then we're going to fold over that knee, over that leg. Now if you need to have a little bend in that knee and then you've got your thigh to rest on, that's absolutely fine. Just find what works for you. Just leaning over for a breath in and breath out, and then slowly walking back and then bringing the hands further up the mat, just so you've got that nice twist. So trying to keep those hip bones facing forward, but having a nice twist like this. Go as far or as little as you can. So for some of you, it may be here, but when you next do it, you might go all the way around. So just listen to your body, or you can just have a good space in between and just gaze over the shoulder. And then back to the front. Just experiment with different moves and what works for you. And then we're just going to do one more. And then looking the hands up, safely coming out of that. And then we're just going to swap our legs over. Okay, so same again. Inhale brings you up, and then stretching over that leg. So inhaling in and out, and then your gentle twist, wherever that takes you, whatever that looks like for you. Just keeping that movement graceful and slow and controlled. More. And then we're going to just fold here, and then just gently get yourself back up to seated. Right, so while we're in this position on the floor, I'm just going to ask you to bring your legs out in front of you, straighten those legs, straighten that spine. Inhale in and out. We're just going to bring our hands a little bit further behind us. So as if we're going to do a reverse tabletop, okay? So if I start with the right leg, if you feel any discomfort or pain, then do come out of this, okay? So I'm just going to ask you to just lift your bum off the mat and then extend the right leg. Lower, left leg, okay? Just doing this really slow because we want to protect that knee joint. Keeping those toes active, so pointing up when they're up. Just like that, and gently lowering, extend, keeping that bend in the opposite leg, and then the straight leg, keeping those toes active, and then just coming back down. And just extend, and then come down, and do one more. It's quite a lot on our arms and our shoulders. So it's important there that you're keeping your shoulders away from your ears, otherwise you're going to be getting a little bit of tension there. Okay, so now what I'm going to ask you to do is give your arms a little shake out, a little thank you for doing that. Right, so now I'm going to ask you to really gently come up. So first of all, this is a little favourite of mine. We're going to try and stand on the palms of our hands. Okay, we've got some great pressure points in our hands. Our hands do a lot for us, and the weight on them feels wonderful actually. So if you can do that, and you can stand on your palms, and then really gently aim to stretch the legs and feel that lovely tension. Okay, if you can't, just experiment of how far you can fold. So for some of you it might be just clasping behind your thighs, for some of you it might be just clasping hands and just going behind the shins. Okay, so whatever works for you. Okay, so I'll just go with this one because I like it, and just enjoying that lovely stretch. And then from wherever you are, just walking up and just doing a half fold. So how to get the half fold, it will look different for everyone. It's just imagining that your back is straight enough that you could balance a tray. Okay, so quite a good indication. Okay, and then just coming back down. And again here, if you want a block or a little footstool, that's absolutely fine. Just find what works for you. So now we're going to clasp hands and we're going to slowly come up and do some sunflowers. Now I really love the sunflower move, only because it's one of my favourite flowers. I love the name, but it's so good for opening up those hips also. So we're going to go up the right side first, and we're going to do 3 on each side. Then one more, and all the way down. And then when you get to the bottom, pause for a second, and then back up the other side, and just enjoying that movement there. Into our last one, and then when you get to the top, hands in prayer, mini back bend, and then hands to heart center, and just enjoy a few breaths here. It really does build the heat. You don't feel like you're doing a lot, but you really are. Okay, so now we're going to gently walk our hands down our bodies into tabletop. And then keeping our hips, bum, knees, legs how they are, and just walking out our hands so that we're in puppy dog. Okay, and then forehead to floor. Again here, if you need some support for your head, or it does hurt or strain, or you're having some, you're not feeling that flexible today, you can come up onto your hands and just put your forearms onto the mat, which I'm going to do today actually, so it actually feels quite good. And then I'm just going to ask you to, from your puppy, to wag the tail, okay? So this is as little or as much as you want to do, okay? You've got a little niggle in the lower back. Anywhere you feel, your body will tell you what it needs and where it needs it, so just listen to the body, okay? Just give it a little wag like this. And then gently stop, and from wherever you are, just walking your hands back and then sitting on your knees. Okay, feeling a little bit warm now. Alright, so not forgetting our neck and shoulders again here. So if you just find whatever's comfortable for you, again, sit on a cushion, sit on a block. I'm just going to sit in easy cross-leg pose for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do some shoulder shrugs first. So it's like this, just lifting them up to the ears and then letting them go. So we're going to do 4 more of those. Inhale on the shrug, exhale on the letting go. Okay, 3 more. And then we're just going to do side to side, ear to shoulder. Just a couple of times on each side. Just loosening up any tension you might have. If you want to go forwards, but be careful when you're going backwards, just a little way. And then nice and slowly. Do not rush this move. Okay, just do an extra shrug for good measure. Okay, so we're going to be laying on our backs now, so if we meet nice and comfortably on the mats here. Now if you need a rolled towel or blanket or even a block under your lower back, then do feel free to grab that. Now, if it's available to you, I'm just going to ask you to tuck your knees into your chest and then just massage that lower back here. If you can only get to this far, or if you've got any flexibility issues today or you're just not feeling it, you can put a block or a footstool under your feet and then just rock side to side. So again, just experiment, pause the video, experiment, have a little think and a feel, have a play around, see what works for you. We're all different, but we're all aiming for the same release, but it's different ways of getting there. There's no right or wrong, just as long as you're keeping yourself safe. And just give that a lovely roll out. Just enjoy rolling out the lower back like this. Okay. Now, before we finish, I think it's over. I've got another little move to just throw in before we finish. Okay, so we're going to keep our right knee in, and our left leg is going to extend, but so is our right arm. Okay, so the left one can just rest on your tummy. So you've got your left leg and your right arm, so opposites. And then you're going to really gently swap over. So if you aim for 3 more on each side, nice and slowly in your own time, don't rush. Remembering to inhale and exhale. Lost count, I'm going to do 1 more on each side, a good measure, there we go. And then after your last one, just tucking your knees back in again, holding on, and then just giving another little roll out on that lower back. Okay, so just to finish off, you can go into the traditional Shavasana, which is laying flat on the mat, hips, nice lower back flat on the mat, ankles, let your feet fall open, palms facing up away from the body, or you can do the figure of 8. So it just depends how flexible you're feeling today. This is a great move if you can get into it, or you can just sort of aim to get into it. Okay, so it's just soles of your feet together and just letting those legs fall open like an open book or butterfly legs. Just letting those fall open, and again you can have a cushion or a block under each side. Okay, and then your hands above your head together, just to resemble a figure of 8. Now this is a lovely stretch. If you can get there, then brilliant. But like I said, the Shavasana is just as good. Or you can even just try with one leg. So putting the sole of the foot onto the opposite leg and then just swapping over. But wherever you find yourself, it's making sure that lower back is flat on the mat. Just close your eyes and just focus on some really good breaths to end our practice. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. This is quite a warming practice, so I think you should be exhaling out of the mouth. And just enjoy. Thank your body and yourself for dedicating yourself to this practice. And then when you're ready to come out of that, just inhaling, just to give you a little bit of a push to get those knees back together. And then turning onto your side. Don't rush laying down to sitting up, because you can find yourself getting a little bit dizzy. And then when you're ready, just using that top hand to push you up into the seated position. Okay. And then I just want to thank you for joining me today. Do feel free to comment, let me know what you'd like me to do. If I haven't done it already, I'm really happy to do that. And let me know what you think of the video also. So just bring your hands to heart center, nose to fingertips, namaste.